Hey everybody, I'm the Linux Gamer and I just played Shadow Warrior. It's a first-person action game developed by Flying Wild Hog and published by Devolver Digital. Shadow Warrior was released for Linux March 31st, 2015. Shadow Warrior is the second entry in the franchise. The original title was the 1997 game of the same name. It was developed by 3D Realms using the Build engine, famous for being the engine used in Duke Nukem 3D. This game is unequivocally a love letter to its predecessor. In Shadow Warrior, you play as Lo Wang, a trained assassin who works for a Japanese tycoon named Orochi Zilla. Zilla is obsessed with owning an ancient katana called the Nobitsura Kage. The katana is in possession of a man named Mizuyaki. When negotiations to purchase the sword from Mizuyaki fails, Lo Wang pulls out his weapon and attacks. Wang is eventually captured by Mizuyaki's henchmen, and then subsequently freed by a demon named Hoji. Hoji sticks around for the duration of the game, and the two characters, Lo Wang and Hoji, often have dialogue which is funny, if at some points waxing juvenile. Shadow Warrior looks and sounds good. I was impressed by the game's flamboyant art direction. The first stage is beautiful, and it's a good way to introduce the player to this fantastic world. Shadow Warrior was originally released back in 2013 for Windows. The game looks really good at max settings, but there's something off about it. The game runs in its own custom engine, and that could be what I find so uncanny. Don't get me wrong, I like how the game looks, but I'd place the game's graphical prowess in the early Unreal Engine 3 era. Some textures look flat, while some of the world's geometry feels lacking, and there's a lot of visual noise. I had to adjust the field of view to maximum in order to compensate for that visual noise, otherwise I'd suffer eye strain while playing. But I'm not gonna opine a 2-year-old game's graphics when aesthetically the game is good. Everything feels coherent, the setting and its otherworldly demons make sense together. The gameplay is frenetic and can be quite overwhelming. There are constant waves of enemies being thrown at you, and the nature of most of the game's combat makes speed and efficiency important. Seeing as your primary weapon is a katana, you're constantly up close and personal with the baddies in each encounter, severing limbs and the like. This makes for claustrophobic situations in which you're surrounded by demons, chopping off heads and throwing shurikens. You also get new weapons every now and then, a crossbow, machine gun, and more exotic items like a demon's heart. The demon's heart is cool because you can use it to slay any lesser demon within a certain radius. You gain special abilities. They're divided up into 3 sections: weapons, skills, and powers. Weapons generally have upgrade slots. These upgrades are purchased with in-game money. Some weapons need to have their upgrade slots unlocked with special skills. You purchase skills with karma points. You get karma points by slaying enemies and finding what I'd like to call blood karma soup. Skills give you special attacks and defenses. You can also purchase tattoos with chi, which affords you special powers. You acquire chi from crystals you find strewn throughout the world. These powers can affect your stamina, your hit points, melee damage, and tons of other cool stuff. The game encourages exploration and the level design is great. An homage to the classic Shadow Warrior always seems lurking just behind a waterfall or down an obscure corridor. Shadow Warrior plays like a classic first-person shooter. And when I say classic, what I mean to say is you move like a cheetah and maneuver like a parkour champion. And there's nothing wrong with that. Playing with a mouse and keyboard or a controller are equitable, though when I'm playing with a katana, I do prefer the gamepad, which some might find blasphemous. When playing with a controller, I noticed that toggling iron sights would auto-aim, which is a welcome feature. I played Shadow Warrior on my new NVIDIA GTX 970 powered rig. I was able to max out the graphics settings in every way and the game still played buttery smooth. My biggest complaint about performance in Shadow Warrior is the post-death loading screen, which I feel is egregiously long given the power of my new setup. I would recommend Shadow Warrior to anyone who loves classic first-person shooters. It's available for Linux through the Humble Store, GOG, and Steam. Links are in the description. Have you played Shadow Warrior? What do you think of it? Be sure to tell me in the comments or on Twitter at The Linux Gamer. Feel free to check out the rest of my channel, including my previous Super Splatters review. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to see more from me, The Linux Gamer. Thanks for watching.